It's been over 10 years since Geometry Dash was first released. At face value, Geometry Dash is just a simple 2D platformer where you jump over spikes to complete levels. Despite the simplicity, if you ask anyone from Generation Z, chances are they've played the game before, but they'll most likely say they just remember playing it as a kid. This is really common for a lot of mobile games. Kids and teenagers will download them, play them for a few weeks, and then move on to another game and never touch it again. When you look into the simplicity of Geometry Dash, it's reasonable to assume the game would follow that same path, but its 10-year journey has been nothing but fascinating. I know back when I used to play the game daily in 2018 and 2019, I worried that the game was on a downward spiral. Turns out, I was very wrong. In January 2017, Update 2.1 was released. Community hype was at an all-time high, and the Steam average player count reached nearly 4,000 for that month. For reference, that's over double the original highest average player count from just the month prior. From 2017 to 2019, the game really decreased in popularity. Average player count went down and peak players also went down too. But when 2020 came around and quarantine and COVID was all around, the game really started to pick up steam again. But 2023 has been different. So far this year, the average player count is about 10,000. Peak player count is also over 30,000 now, which is nearly double the peak from just last year. But why? The game hasn't had an update since January 2017, over 6.5 years ago, so what's getting people to play the game more now than ever? There's no real definitive answer, but I think I have a few reasons as to why. The most obvious reason, at least to me and the community, is that 2023 has been a very significant year in terms of game progression. August marked the 10-year anniversary of the game, and Rob Top made an anniversary video. There was an official release date in that video for Update 2.2, being October 2023. The anniversary video got over 4 million views, and 2.2's long-awaited release date really expanded the virality of the video. In fact, this is what really piqued my interest in Geometry Dash after years away and really brought me back to the game. I was a sophomore in high school when 2.1 came out, and over 6 years later, I'm out of college and the game still hasn't been updated. So many players have been waiting for this update for pretty much the entirety of the time that they've played the game. And the fact that the update's actually real and is actually going to come out within the next few months is exciting to say the least. I know I've had moments where I thought the game was just not going to be updated, that the update was just fake and was never actually going to come out. It's kind of surreal to realize the update's actually coming out, and I know at least for me, I wanted to be there for it. I think this could be part of the explosion, but oddly enough, the game started exploding in popularity in May and June of this year, months before the anniversary video was even announced. I think it's very likely that the anniversary and release date contributed a lot to the further growth and explosion of players we've seen in the past few months, but it definitely wasn't the sole reason. Now it's time to get into a potentially controversial reason why I think the game has been very successful recently. Now, not controversial as in like inappropriate, cancel-worthy stuff, but more controversial as in a lot of people don't like this kind of stuff. Now, of course, when I'm talking about short-form content, over the past few years, short-form content has exploded on the internet. When content creators realized they could release a 60-second video and receive more views and engagement than releasing a 10+ minute video, many took the obvious choice to prioritize this form of content. While this type of content doesn't really provide even a sliver of the ad revenue normal videos would, these videos were primed for increasing subscribers and overall views on a channel. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are 3 of the most popular sites for these type of videos, and Geometry Dash content began to emerge on here within the past few years. And these videos, they go viral. Here you can see some YouTube shorts from Kai Guy, HBar, and Lemon Cake, 3 of Geometry Dash's most successful short-form creators. In these 18 videos alone, they've amassed over 670 million views. It just doesn't make sense how many views that is. The explosion of this type of content has certainly contributed to Geometry Dash's popularity, whether these people who watch the videos decided to play their game or not. Besides the most popular form of short-form GD content, which mostly consists of hardest challenge or noob versus hacker type stuff, players have had an easier outlet to show off their Geometry Dash achievements or creations through short-form content. Level creators can show off their levels and designs without having to create an entire video, and these shorts are more easily viewable by the general population. I definitely think that short-form content has contributed to the game's overall growth and progression, and a lot of the community does as well. But I do think there's more to it. For this next point, I reached out to the community itself, and I asked some of my friends from my Discord server how they recently got back into the game. One of them, Stairs, So that he was primarily inspired by higher end players just grinding demon levels, such as Zeronium or Aeon Air. I think this point really ties into the whole beating demons part of the game. Demon levels are the hardest levels in the game, and they range from easy to extreme demon. There's an entire list of the hardest extreme demon levels in the game, and the expansion and growth of this list has certainly maintained popularity, excitement, and motivation for the game and its community. The whole system of demon levels encourages spending hours and hours on levels, which I wouldn't say is a bad thing, but like any challenge one may have, it requires a lot of perseverance and dedication. Back in 2015 when Bloodbath was released, it was revolutionary as the hardest level in the game by far. It maintained its top spot for about a year and a half. However, after 4 years, it was moved to the Legacy list, meaning it was no longer in the top 150 of the hardest levels. According to the Demon list, 1,295 people have beaten Bloodbath, which is it just doesn't make sense. It's mind-blowing. I definitely think the constant hype of the Demons list and the desire to beat hard levels has been a consistent reason the game has maintained popularity. I don't think it's as important to the resurgence as stuff like the 2.2 release date or short-form content is, but I do think it's very important to keeping the game consistent over time. I'd also say level creators are in the same boat. The level creation scene in Geometry Dash is just truly incredible, and those creators spend hundreds of hours to create their levels. Similar to how demon levels have evolved over time, level creation certainly has too. From basic 1.9 effects to what we have today, the whole creating scene on the game is just astonishing. I think this has really helped the game maintain excitement and entertainment for years, as people always have new levels to play, and good ones. The whole rating system makes it so easy to find tens of thousands of great levels. While there are certainly some exceptions to that, it's very easy to spend a lot of time playing some of the recently featured levels. Most of them have really cool visuals and are a lot of fun to play. If Geometry Dash was simply a single player game where you just played the main levels, I think it would have probably died in the first few years. The fact that it has the level creation aspect and people can create levels for anybody in the world to play, it's something really special, and I think it's what's kept the game alive for so long. Before ending this video off, I must talk about the community. The community of this game is certainly one of the most important aspects that has kept the game going for so long. It incorporates everything I've talked about today. The community hype over the anniversary video and release date, the community sharing their content to millions of people online, the community creating masterpieces in the level editor, and the community spending hundreds of hours beating levels from the easiest ones to the borderline impossible. The community of this game is something special, and I've never met a community quite like this one. 2.2 is right around the corner, and it is going to change this game forever. I'm really excited for all the changes. I know there's so much that it's kind of overwhelming, but when that update comes out, it's going to feel like childhood again.